Okay. Good evening once again, class. We are now on our third PowerPoint presentation for this series of lecture for the semifinals. Then we will discuss tonight the Republic Act 10173 or the Data Privacy Act. But before we proceed, as I've said, before we proceed with our lecture, let me credit the following researchers: Alen Francis Garque, Tricia Galola, Anulaga, Josette Galvez, Isa May Gimao, and City Gumaos. Okay. We will have the pre-test or post-test examination questions. Question number 1, who are qualified to file complaints? Number 2, what are the remedies if a person is personally affected by the privacy violation or personal data breach? 3, where is the venue in filing complaint against Data Privacy Act? 4, what are the contents in the complaint against Data Privacy Act? Number 5, give at least one exception on the said no complaint shall be entertained. And then, what is the form of complaint in Data Privacy Act? 7, mention the policy of the state regarding data privacy. Number 8, how does the Commission handle confidentiality? Number 9, what are the criteria in obtaining personal information? And number 10, can a complaint be filed electronically? Okay. It has answered these questions. 1, who are qualified to file complaints? Persons who are the subject of the privacy violation or personal data breach, or who are otherwise personally affected by the violation of the Data Privacy Act may file complaints for violations of the Act. Number 2 question, what are the remedies of a person personally affected by the privacy violation or personal data breach? Answer, request for an advisory opinion on matters affecting protection of personal data. B, inform the National Privacy Commission of the data protection concern, which may in its discretion conduct monitoring activities on the organization or take such further action as may be necessary. Question number 3, where is the venue in filing complaint in violation of Data Privacy Act? The venue is a complaint may be filed at any office of the Commission, say National Privacy Commission. Number 4 question, what are the contents of the complaint in violation of the privacy? The answer, the respondent's contact information where practicable and where the respondent may be served with orders or issuances or communications from the National Privacy Commission. The complaint is filed within 6 months from the occurrence of the claimed privacy violation of personal data breach, or 30 days from the last communication with the personal information controller or concerned entity, whichever is earlier. That is the answer to the question. Give at least one exception on said complaint shall be entertained. Number 6, what is the form of complaint in violation of Data Privacy Act? The form of the complaint must be in writing, verified and under oath, or contained in a affidavit. Number 7, mention the policy of the state for Data Privacy Act. Answer, it is the policy of the state to proceed to protect the fundamental human right of privacy of communication while ensuring free flow of information to promote innovation and growth. The state recognizes the vital role of information and communications technology in nation building and its inherent obligation to ensure that personal information in information and communication systems in the government and in the private sector are secured and protected. Question number 8, how does the Commission handle confidentiality? The Commission may ask for access to personal data that is subject of any complaint and to collect the information necessary to perform it. Number 9, what are the criteria for lawful of personal information? The processing of personal information shall be permitted only if not otherwise prohibited by law and when at least one of the following condition exists. A. The subject data have given his or her consent. B. The processing of personal information is necessary and is related to the fulfillment of a contract with the data subject or in order to take steps at the request of the data subject prior to entering into a contract. And C. The processing is necessary for compliance with a legal obligation to which the personal information controller to subject. D. The processing is necessary to protect vital important interests of the data subject including life and health. E. The processing is necessary in order to respond to national emergency, to comply with the requirements of public order and safety, or to fulfill functions of public authority, which necessarily includes the processing of personal data for the fulfillment of its mandate. Or F. The processing is necessary for the purposes of the legitimate interests pursued by the personal information controller or by the third party of parties or parties to whom the data is disclosed, except where such interests are overridden by fundamental rights and freedom of the data subject, which requires protection under the Philippine Constitution. 10. Can a complaint be filed electronically? The answer is yes. The complaint and its supporting evidence, as well as the subsequent filings, may be filed as electronic documents pursuant to the provisions of Republic Act No. 8792 and the subject of the right of the Commission to request for hard copies or charge fees for the printing thereof, either by email or by submitting the same contained in a portable electronic data storage device at any office of the... Okay. Now, let's discuss Data Privacy Act. Who may file complaints? The National Privacy Commission, sua sponte, or people who are the subject of a privacy violation or health data breach or who are otherwise personally affected by a violation of the Data Privacy Act may file complaints for violations of the Act. The person who is the subject of the privacy violation or personal data breach or his or her duly authorized representative may file the complaint, provided that the circumstances of the authority must be established. Any person who is not personally affected by the privacy violation or personal data breach may 1. Request for an advisory opinion on matters affecting protection of personal data, or inform the National Privacy Commission of the data protection concern, which may in its discretion conduct monitoring activities on the organization or take such further action as may be necessary. The failure to comply with the requirements of this section shall cause the matter to be evaluated as the request for the National Privacy Commission for an advisory opinion and for the National Privacy to take such further action as necessary. The National Privacy Commission may waive any or all of the requirements of this section, and its discretion upon good cause shown, or if the complaint involves a serious violation or breach of the Data Privacy Act, taking into account the risk of harm to the affected data subject. Now, the complainant is the government or any agency or instrumentality thereof, including government-owned and controlled corporations, organized and existing under their own charter, and excluding government-owned and controlled corporations, organized and incorporated under the Corporation Code. B. The complaint qualifies as an indigent or pauper litigant as defined under the rules of court, or the National Privacy Commission in its proper discretion and for good cause shown waives the requirement. This is Section 5, what I'm talking about the filing fees, that no complaint or request for advisory opinion shall be entertained unless the appropriate filing fees have been shown to have been paid. These are the exceptions that I'm talking about. Now, Section 6, printed copies. The complaint, together with the documentary evidence and affidavits of witnesses, if any, shall be filed in such number as there are respondents plus 2 copies for the file. Section 7, where to file. A complainant may file or complaint be filed at any office. Section 8, electronic filing. The complaint and its supporting evidence as well as any subsequent filings may be filed as electronic documents pursuant to the provisions of Republic Act 8792 and subject to the Commission to request for hard copies or charge fees for the printing thereof, either by mail or by submitting the same contained in a portable electronic data storage device at any office of the Commission. Whenever practicable, electronic submission shall be made and digitally signed in PDF format on page sizes compliant with efficient use of paper rule. When submissions are made through portable electronic data storage device, the provisions of Section 6 of this rule shall apply. With one portable data storage device equivalent to one printed copy, provided that the document made on such portable data storage device, if either the device or any file found therein is detected to be infected with any form of malware. All the electronic documents on that portable electronic data storage device shall not be considered as having been filed. Now, parties to the complaint. The complaint must specify the identity of the individual claiming to be the subject of the privacy violation or the persons who damaged or injured by the data breach, who shall be referred to as the complainant. The complaint shall include in his complaint his contact information and where the complainant or duly authorized representative may be served with orders, issuances, or communications, including a secure electronic mail addresses when available. The complaint must identify the person or organization complained against, who shall be referred to as the respondent. The mere provision of the means to trace the identity of the party complained against shall be considered as insufficient identification. The complainant shall also provide in the complaint 1. The respondent's contact information where practicable and where the respondent may be served with orders, issuances, or communications from the National Privacy Commission. Form and contents of the complaint. The complaint shall comply with the requirements of the efficient use of paper rule, which is Administrative Matter number 11-9-4- from the Supreme Court, and other such rules for formatting as may be provided for by the Supreme Court for use in quasi-judicial agencies. The form of the complaint must be in writing, verified and under oath, or contained in a sworn affidavit. A complaint that does not comply with the requirement shall be acted upon only at the discretion of the National Privacy Commission, which merits appropriate consideration on its face, or is of such notoriety that it necessarily contains sufficient leads, or particularly to enable the taking of further action. The complaint shall include brief narration of material facts and supporting documentary and testimonial evidence, all of which was show A. the violation of the Data Privacy Act or related issuances, or B. the acts or omissions allegedly committed by the respondent amounting to a privacy violation of personal data breach. What else? The complaint must include any and all relief sought by the complainant. The supporting documents shall consist of original or certified true copies of any documentary evidence and the affidavits of witnesses, if any, including those affidavits necessary to identify the documents and to substantiate the complaint. The complainant shall also attach any and all correspondence with the respondent on the matter complained and include a statement of the action taken by the respondent to address the complaint, if any. The failure to comply with the requirements of this section shall cause the matter to be evaluated as a request for the National Privacy Commission for an advisory opinion and for the National Privacy Commission to take such further action as necessary. Now, general provisions. Section 31, confidentiality. The Commission may ask for access to personal data that is subject of any complaint and to collect the information necessary to perform its functions. The Commission shall ensure confidentiality of any personal data that comes to its knowledge and possession, provided that any personal data submitted may be transferred to parties who will be contacted during the handling of the case and may disclose the agencies who are authorized to receive information relating to law enforcement, prosecution, or review of the Commission's decision subject to the Act and related issuances. Information about the case may also be used for policy development, public education, case reports, and public. And with that, thank you for listening, and I hope you will study that lecture, because for sure it will be part of our semi-final examination, because Data Privacy Act is a very popular law that is enacted at this present. So thank you, and